Welcome, Sober October game players. It just hit me as I was saying that. It's the end. It's the last day. It's the 31st of October.
Sad times. We made it. We made it.
I feel like we just begun, to be honest. I'm like, would love everyone to jump into the chat panel. Going to do things a little bit differently tonight, team. Let's rock out together. Yes, that is it. Amanda's saying we fucking did it. Yes, we did. Who else is going to drop some F-bombs in the chat panel? It's so appropriate today.
So appropriate.
Simon, so good to see you here. Jump into the chat panel, everyone. As usual, Nat will be rocking out in a moment with some very funky, some very cool things we're going to share with you today.
Yes.
Along the lines of player stats and longevity of results, which is really cool. We haven't done that before. Everyone jump into the chat panel, say hello. I want to hear from everyone.
Anita, beat me to the punch today. You booked in. I was going to hit you up, but here we are.
All right. Den saying hello to everyone. I'm waiting for some people to jump in the chat panel. I'm going to put you on the spot in a second, team. Going to put you on the spot. Anita, jump on in. Bonnie, how the hell are you doing? You're rocking out. You're feeling fresh. Haley, how are you coming along? Would love to hear from you. Sam, how the hell are you? I feel like I get more Australian in these groups. I don't know why.
How are you? Who saw the photo of Tommy on his Facebook? Please put your hand up if you saw that hideous photo. Yes, that was absolute trash, my friend.
To this date, I've had some embarrassing photos up. To this day, I wasn't even intoxicated at the time. That's probably the worst bit. I got nothing to blame. All right, thanks for letting us know. Sam's in the car. Hey, Bonnie, great to see you here. Hey, Amanda, love to see it. Haley, how are you coming out along? How was your 30 days? And Tim, we wanted to start tonight's call by jumping to the chat panel, please. How was your Sober October game? How was your experience?
How was it?
How was it? Would love to hear from all of you.
Tommy, we're going to do feedback tonight, or are we going to send out something?
I will send something out.
Okay.
How was your Sober October game? Loved it, crushed it, hated it, want more, want less? How was your experience?
Oh, Tommy, look at the boys in uniform tonight. We look great.
We are. Team, how are we going? we're in sync today with our long sleeve shirts. We're very proud. It's the little things that matter in life. Dan, awesome to hear. Dan said it's been fun as fuck being fresh as fuck. Love to hear it, Dan.
So many F-bombs straight up on the last day.
So many F-bombs. Who experienced 30 days sober? Who experienced 30 days feeling fresh AF?
You know what? That would have been yes until last weekend.
Loved it. Want more. Enjoyed it. Felt accountable. Sorry to cut you off there, Nat.
Man, I've got nothing important to say.
Hey, Nat, it's not your time. I haven't done the introduction where I hand over to you. And for anybody that's in the DLFF community now, you know this is how we rock and roll. But for some Sober October players have never rocked out with us before, so we had to ease into how we talk and how we hang out. Bonnie enjoyed it and felt accountable. Loved it. Haley crushed it. So good to hear, Haley. Loved your engagement as a new member. It was really cool to see you rock out. Anita, your shirt is on the way. When I say on the way, not yet in production, but if I say it's on the way, it means that I have to follow through with it. So bear with me.
Anita, they're really good. They're really high quality. They're really good.
Amanda's saying, do we have a uniform? Yes. Yeah, love that. Yeah, great question. Simon shared laugh out loud. Being giddy up day, Melbourne Cup day tomorrow. I wonder how many people throw in their commitments and get sloshed tomorrow.
Yes, good call.
Not me. I'm going to stick fresh AF tomorrow for Melbourne Cup. A lot of you know behind the scenes that one of the things I love doing on my own alcohol reduction journey is drinking when no one else is and not drinking when everyone else is. A little bit of a rebellion pattern there, but also just a reminder that you don't have to drink for the social expectation of the group.
Nice.
All right, loving all the comments coming through. Thanks, Virginia. Awesome to see. All right. Sober October game players. Congratulations. 30 Not 30 days, 31 days. The kid can't count how many days in the month. 31 days, you've crushed it, feeling fresh AF. There's over 30 prizes I'll be sending out after the admin team have fine-tooth combed them and looked out for any discrepancies, which is just incredible on top of all the awesome lessons and learnings that you've experienced. Thank you so much. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, Nat will probably say something as well when it's his turn. From the bottom of my heart, thank you very much for trusting in Nat and I to support you and serve you on a journey that is often approached really intimately, I should say. It means a lot to us. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, guys. It's bloody great.
In saying that, I'm going to hand over to the incredibly talented and today very well-dressed Nat Hodges to run us through our bonus session where we'll share a couple of insights into what the journey has looked like for some and what the journey might look like for others moving forward.
Thank you, boss. All right. So, guys, context for tonight is how to crush your commitments. We've got to go through some basic do's and don'ts after. When you go into a program like this, it's you all would have felt it. You get half of the kind of enthusiasm gets sucked into the group and sucked into the whole theme of the thing. So it's really, really engaging, but it can get really tricky about what you do next. We've got obviously some player acknowledgements, just who did really well, and we've got some and it's not, guys, it's not just about the game. Like I know it's probably obvious, but the game is just the engine or the platform to get everyone together and have these conversations. So it's just a starting point, really, and then where to from here. But before we get into that, I've got some fun little things to show you. This has just been based off how many times we've run the game and what we see with people during and post the game. So here's what we've just got: typical outcomes and recommendations. If you engaged in the game for 1 week and 1 week only, where you would log in your actions, collecting your coins, and for whatever reason, if you started to fade after a week, here's kind of what you get. No new habits form in a week. The probability of regression back to old habits is basically 95%. So when we entrench habits, they run all throughout the body and mind. So it's neurologically, it's psychologically, it's emotionally, and it's in your behavior as well. These habits get really locked in. Having a week off and doing new habits is not enough to break all those old pathways. So the probability of regression is just really high. There's no choice achieved. After a dropout rate of 7 days, there'll be no more choice or change in your entire system and your context with alcohol. But a growth step is achieved. 7 days is good, and you've engaged in something. We always like to see people, as soon as you put your hard-earned cash down for something, it is a growth step in the right direction. But a week is just not long enough to see anything substantial. 2 weeks gets a little more interesting. So after 2 weeks, the new habits have actually partially formed, but they're still unstable. 2 weeks is kind of no man's land. You've broken the habit, but the old habits are still really alive. And so you see this a lot in like people that do personal development and some other growth journeys. Have you ever had that experience where you feel like you come up out of your stuff and you feel good, and then it sucks you back in? It's the partial step. It's the partial step to freedom. Regression is 75%, so still very high. Some people do 2 weeks and they feel a change forever, and that's great. But the important thing here is if you do 14 days, the doorway to choice has actually been opened. It's been opened. You've experienced 14 days where you've had, pretty much full control. And you start to get an insight into yourself without booze. It takes about 2 weeks, guys, to start to feel what it's like to be you without booze. It's the same thing as coffee. It takes about 2 to 3 weeks before you start feeling where your natural energy level's at, and we can start to monitor from there. So after 2 weeks, you do start to get an insight into what it's like to be you without kind of that other avenue. 3 weeks, things get real fun. 3 weeks, you actually see physiological changes. So you see changes in blood chemistry, changes in mood, changes in happiness. You actually start to get some physiological changes after 3 weeks. Probability drops massively. Tommy, yes.
I just want to ask into the chat panel as we're going through these, who's noticed the physical changes? And please be aware, team, just notice a lot of you on the call crushed the full 4 weeks. That's not how it went for everyone.
Yeah.
So that's really important. Like, these acknowledgements aren't just, oh, there we go, you did that. There was over 60 people that played the game. much smaller number that completed through to the 4 weeks. And Nat and I are always watching it when someone dropping off and why have they dropped off. And, that's important to notice as well. It might seem great for you. You might be like, yeah, I crushed it. Also, it's important to acknowledge not everybody did. Not everybody does crush it. So our hats really go off to you. So, and just jump into the chat panel. As Nat's going through levels 1, 2, and 3, let us know what you've noticed. I always notice at the 3 to 4 week mark, bags under my eyes go. I notice it all the time. Physical change, bags under the eyes go. I also notice.
Sorry, Tommy, go for it. Sorry.
I was just going to share. I also notice as well, I'm normally more, which is interesting. I'm actually normally a bit more tired. So I'm noticing that my body's natural operation zone is a bit tired. So there's stuff that I need to do to lift up my energy. But when I'm just drinking every second night, I never even get to feel that. You never get to feel that.
That's a great. Let's pop in the chat, Tom, if you can monitor the chat. What physiological changes have you seen? That can be anything physical. That can be a feeling. That can be anything. I know. My fat around my stomach and hips tends to come in a little tighter when I stop drinking.
Nice. We're getting a couple coming through here, mate. Amanda's sharing better sleep, feeling calm, lost weight, enjoy food more. That's interesting.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, I also actually noticed the conscious awareness of like, this meal's nice, as opposed to like, rah.
Rah, toasted cheese sandwich.
Yeah. All right, Den's sharing. Yeah, I've definitely needed a few micro naps.
Yeah, nice.
Love it.
Yeah, so these are all very common for around the 2 to 3 week mark. These changes are noticed. Okay, so the true possibility of choice has been activated. If you can do 3 weeks, there's the only thing that's going to stop you actually getting to a place of choice with a 2-drink measure, which is 2 bevs, I'm fine, is literally just laziness from here. I'm not kidding. If you've done 3 weeks, it's no more tricky than staying aware of what you're doing. Okay, this is the best one. People that do 3 weeks, they literally start to feel a new self is emerging. A self that's stronger, a self that's more aware, a self that is more capable, a self that's deeper, a self that can see patterns and smoke alarms before things go off. This is a new self. If you've done any deeper diving with Tommy and I, we go through a big piece on how the alcohol self is actually formed. So when you drink and you drink often, you create an alcohol sub-personality that starts to run its own show. At 3 weeks, that alcohol sub-personality starts to fade. Yes.
Yeah, Bonnie's written a great comment here, and let us know who else has experienced this. Open brackets, I've been more connected with people, though I've been more emotional.
Yeah.
And keep an eye out for what Nat's about to share here, level 4, level 3, and level 4. The new, as he talks about, the new self is emerging. That is exactly what you're experiencing. And we're so quick sometimes to go, oh, that's not the good me. I'm not an emotional person. Whatever emerges without, whatever emerges without suppression tactics is you. That's who we are.
We got a lot of shaking heads, but let me be really clear. We love connection. But what blocks it is protection from the emotional swings of connection. Connection is emotional swings. That's what we sign up for. I'm an emotional wreck. I'm so connected.
The worst thing we can do, Bonnie and anyone else experiencing is, and I'm talking to myself 6 years ago, the worst thing we can do is go, that's not me. It's because I'm doing a detox for the first time. Yeah. Just feel free not to do that. And if you have, that's okay. Just moving forward, it's just who you are. And you'll be learning to reconnect and express that. It doesn't mean it's going to be like that forever. You just don't dampen the lid on this natural expression that's coming up. It usually happens at about the 4 week plus mark.
Tommy will call me. This is just so typical of me. Tommy will call me. No, how's your day? Oh, yeah, had a bit of a cry this morning. No, all good, sorted. Just on a Tuesday.
That's great. Perfect Tuesday. Had a coffee, lunch, cry, dinner. Wait, go back a minute. What were you crying about? Nothing. Great. Fantastic.
Okay. 4 weeks. This is good stuff. Biological. So you get all the biological stuff, but you get psychological changes as well. This is where we look at mood enhancement, higher energy, clarity, intelligence, sharper at work. You can see and be connected with more. The probability of regression remains at 50%. And the reason why you've got 50% there is because the game is about what we call a top-down approach. It will change your behavior. But underneath that, why we have other things set up is because it's the reprogramming that needs to happen underneath that makes it really consistent. So I know there's some long-term members in here, and they've felt the changes of the deeper changes that need to go along with this. Okay, choice is now real availability. If you've done 4 weeks and you've really crushed it, you can now choose. You can now choose, but if you stop training the choice, the regression will happen. And everybody's looking at me going, yes, exactly right.
It's important as well to know Nat and I literally preach what Nat's sharing here, level 4. When someone in our community says, oh, I want to do a detox, when I'm speaking to them, I normally say, have you done 4 weeks yet? And if they go, yes, there is no hiding the fact that they have choice. It is held to a standard of like, you know how to choose. Oh, but this is going on. Oh, but this is going on. But I never used to have this financial pressure or whatever it is. It's no, we don't play that game here. If you've done 4 weeks, choice is available for you. And I think everybody wants to be held to that standard.
Yep, it's right there. It's right there. And the last one is the new self as well. It's totally available if you want to lock it in. It's not forming, it's formed. It's formed. You've done it. It's there. But this is where we get into the membership side of things, and the further teaching is because the old alcohol self never actually goes away. It's you've got to actually build a new one and keep constructing and investing in it so it almost drowns out the old one.
Yeah, team, a lot of you, is any of the older members experience this? Would love to for you to jump in. Any of the older members being like who's been with us for probably more than 8 to 9 months. Anyone noticing what Nat shared there? It's like, I did 4 weeks and now I've only got 2 me's. I've got me detoxing with DLFF and not doing anything, or I've got, champagne and wine, please, ladies. Like that's what Nat's talking about there. You have these 2 selves as opposed to emerging something bigger and bolder than that.
So that's
yes, Tim.
That is our basic kind of basic tool we use and frame we use to know how to work with people moving forward. And it essentially looks like this. So if you only made week 1, then what we recommend is take our 12 sobriety hacks, do another challenge at some point. But really, if you've only done 1 week, what we ask is you just assess your readiness for real change. Just assess if you are actually ready to live with choice after week 1. If you manage 2 weeks where you are getting some changes, what we say is use our resource library. So those habits are locked in. Our resource library is full of things to keep those habits going. And what we say there is the doorway is open now to the new self. So don't let it close. The doorway to new habits is open. But some people here aren't ready for, a full-blown mastermind or, another 30 days or whatever.
Which is so fine. Like,
absolutely.
I love how you said it, Nat, when we were creating the webinar and you said that, assess readiness for real change. It doesn't have a negative connotation to it. Like some people say, well, you're just not ready for it. You're not up for it yet.
No, you assess the readiness.
There we go. You assess when you're ready to give it a real hard crack.
If you made 3 weeks, we recommend often to use a DLFF membership because inside the base membership, there's challenges every month. And this will drop your regression rate down to about 10%. People that do a 4-week challenge like this or a game and then go into the membership, they got 12 to 18 months to 2 years of just living with choice and loving the community. If you have made 4 weeks, then all options are open. If you have done 4 weeks, then the Live Free Mastermind, which is the real deep learning, is open, and the Feel Fresh membership, which is the kind of total the entry membership, which keeps rolling on month after month. Both are open, but people in the Live Free membership, our mastermind group, then we have a 99% success rate with that because it's so intricate, it's so real, it's so accountable, and it is the countercultural solution to everything else out there is our mastermind group.
Do we have anyone on the call at the moment that's in that Live Free community? It's very
intimate.
Anita. Okay, I wasn't going to put her on the spot, but you did that. Loving these comments coming through, team. Please comment through. Please keep commenting through. Apologies, if you don't know about that Live Free membership community, don't worry about that right now. We haven't shared that with you. It's an intimate mastermind community. We can chat about that later.
All right. So that's have we put in the chat yet? What week did people land at? Where did we land? Have we done that yet, Tommy?
No, that's it for now. Let's go. What week did we land at, team? Who did a solid 5 to 7 days and then kind of dropped off, stopped playing the game? But maybe, I know some members have been watching all of these masterclasses live, but didn't play the game for the 7 days, which is where the habits changed. who here crushed it through the 4 weeks. Would love to hear from all of you. Oh, that's so good. So we're saying week 4. Someone else is sharing. I've gone through the whole 4 weeks, other than the
Beautiful.
2 games. Other than the 2 days, I gave myself permission to have a drink. Love that.
Yeah, nice. Oh, look at that. That's such good language too.
That's incredible. Massive congratulations to Bonnie, who piggybacked off her already 40 days feeling fresh AF to crush an extra 4 weeks with us, which is just fantastic. So well, a lot of people are saying congratulations, Bonnie. That's amazing. Fantastic. Simone's sharing, I've been fully engaged the whole time. I signed up to do it with my daughter and her brother. However, neither of them showed up. And I love that you've shown up. You've got a perfect excuse to be like, oh, the family members didn't do it. Now I can drop off. So well done, Simone. So fantastic to see.
Yeah, that's great.
Loving these comments coming through. Well done, Virginia. Yeah,
All
fantastic.
Right. Team, when you are coming off the back of something like this, it's pretty self-explanatory, but piece there. We've got some do's and don'ts. We'll start with just right people. Post an event like this, please. You'll be aware more now than ever. People in your crew who are supportive and who's not. But to change a mind like this, you might have heard the same before. It takes a tribe to change mind. So we just recommend stay around the right people. Whatever you do, stay around as a number one. Stay around the right people. Get around the right learning. So the right learning, and this is a very, I think one of the toughest things, Tommy, about the Australian drinking culture is we trivialize it because it's so baked in. But it's so complex. Each individual, your relationship with alcohol is so complex because it considers every part of your life. So right learning, like deep dive into self-understanding, learn the art and science of choice, and then go practice in real-world situations. That's how you learn the best. Yes, Tommy.
Nat, on that, just a little bit of bonus material that probably no one's heard yet, that I loved it, the way you said it today. If you can remember, you and I were doing our Feel Fresh podcast this morning, and I said, why do we classify some drugs are okay and some aren't? And you spoke about, what was that? You mentioned we all just want to know that we're a good person, and because it's over the counter.
Yes.
Can you just explain that to the team? Because I think they'll take massive value from that.
Yeah, but Tommy and I were doing a podcast this morning, and that question was raised. And if we don't do the deep learning into self-understanding, we never really reach a level of ourselves where we're all just trying to be a good person in our own way. We all essentially at one level of ourselves are completely innocent, and we're trying to get it right, constantly trying to get it right. And so one of the best ways to do that, or to not think about that, is if we go, oh well, if they're selling it over the counter, then I'm doing the right thing. But it's just a level of assessment, it's just a level of assessment, because what happens is with other substances, alcohol is a substance like anything else, other substances that are not over the counter that you have to get other ways, the paranoia of that creeps into the experience of using it. When you drink alcohol, there's no paranoia because it's legal. But if you can get beyond that, then it opens up a whole new way to think about alcohol, to feel your body when you're drinking, to feel your mind, what happens when you're drinking. You're like, oh, I don't know if this is good for me.
It opens up your world to toy with the idea of just because it's good for others doesn't mean it's good for me. And that's unfortunately what alcohol falls into, is like, because it's good for so many. Shouldn't it be good for me? Shouldn't I be understanding it? Thanks for sharing that.
No worries. Okay, and right strategies. So tool up the tool belt. Use the resource library that we have. Enjoy it. We've got our live videos, obviously, that happen all the time, and then our DLFF membership. Have the right strategies in place. Obviously, the don'ts. Wrong people. The unconscious drinking culture, unsupportive friends and family, and people that are closed to change. You'll tend to shrink around those people, and then no tribe on the same journey. Same again. What you don't do after this is just stop learning. No self-reflection, no inquiry into behavior or your patterns. And then back to unconscious drinking habits. All of that will just stop the learning. And if you stay in this long enough, team, what you realize is that the continual journey of learning is the fuel that keeps the choice around. And that I've seen that in every venture I've done where I am a teacher or a guide or whatever. As soon as I see someone stop learning, the fuel for the real change also stops. They go hand in hand.
Amanda just said the membership just makes me feel like someone's always got my back. I love that comment. I've never seen that.
Exactly.
Thanks,
yeah.
Amanda.
And then no strategy. So no use of effective tools, no use of the DLFF resources, and old beliefs. Old beliefs creep without tools. And what that means is that if you're not active and engaged with your journey, the old beliefs just creep in. They just creep in because they're so embedded. And everyone does it. They might, you might start a diet and then it creeps in. You might start alcohol reduction and then it creeps. You might start exercise and then, the old patterns creep in. So when you don't have strategy, like I've got strategies for every area of my life because old stuff just creeps in. And you start to really begin to realize, guys, that life is not about setting it up so it's all cruisy and peachy and you don't have to think. Life is about being engaged all the time. Engaged all the time. If you're not engaged, you're unconscious. And you really start to value being present and engaged with everything that you're doing because you realize that if I'm not doing that, all I'm left with is my old stuff.
Feels to hear that. Oh, geez, triggered me, Nat.
Yeah,
no.
I know.
I'm in my
I know.
old shit because I'm not taking responsibility.
I am such a burden to have around. It's my wife, the poor thing. Jesus.
That's far too honest for tonight, Nat. Oh, I love it.
Okay, player acknowledgements. Over to you. Tell me who we got.
Oh, some player acknowledgements team. I just wanted to run through a couple of noticeable mentions that I thought were pretty cool. You'll see my eyes wander off because I'm just looking at another screen at the moment. So bear with me. First and foremost, wanted to acknowledge Mike Barrett and Gareth Wallace. Thank you for being new members that I've actually never met before, and not only just rocking out in the game, but seeing your correspondence via email. That always really lights me up that people are willing to take action and reach out in alternate ways, which was really cool. Tonya, as always, you've rocked out with us for a long time from the other side of the world. My acknowledgement to you is more so specifically working in a different time zone and seeing you log some actions at some crazy early times of the morning, and even being to a couple of these classes live, which is like 4 a.m. for you. Yes, that's right. It's about 4 a.m. odd for you.
Love it.
Jim, you've been rocking out, following some of our stuff for a long time now, and to see you show up and say yes to the 4 weeks and absolutely crush it was just actually inspiring. It still actually blows me away. Nat, I don't know if you see this because more in my wheelhouse regarding the Drink Less Feel Fresh business, which is looking after the marketing side of things and potential future clients, is that seeing someone kind of want to say yes to themselves and then never hearing from them. And, even sometimes I still fall into the trap of thinking, oh man, I might have let that person down. I didn't give them what they needed. And then like a year later, they come back and they rock out and they say, I know you haven't heard from me, but I've actually been doing really well thanks to the mini chant. So well done. Jana, or if it's Yana, depending on how you pronounce that. Loved your engagement. Loved all of your action logging. Bonnie, big shout out to you. I don't think we've rocked out before in the past, and we've collaborated and communicated a lot via email and within the game. And I always know that because just a name kind of keeps popping up, and yours definitely was. So thank you so much for trusting in us to champion you along this journey. Virginia, Sarah, Kylie, Heath. Well done, Heath. You absolutely hit the ground running out of the gate, so to speak, as well as your good friend that you signed up with, Tommy Stewart. You both crushed the game. It was really cool to see. Rosie, I wanted to acknowledge you along with Julie and Sam Davis for your engagement. Thank you very much. And then I wanted to make a couple of acknowledgements, more so regarding who was really effing eager to crush the logging of actions. Come on, team. Play with me here. Jump into the chat panel. Feel free to congratulate others as well. Jaden, you absolutely crushed it, especially up until about the 4th week. You were really crushing it there. Anita, Julie, you guys absolutely crushed it. Been some longer members for a while now, so I did have the assumption that you were going to crush it and really practice something that you've learned for a while. And then, not going to lie, the incredibly amazing Amanda and Simone, two go-getters, tooth and nail. When and where am I allowed to log these actions? Let me get them done today, was the energy that I was getting for you. So you both just super exceeded. I think it was like, the earliest time available on Saturday morning. You both crushed 30,000 coins, which was the original coin target at the moment for
which
a full game before which is just a lot of actions to be done, let alone staying sober at the same time. And then what was really cool to see, massive acknowledgement for what do you call it? The races are on tomorrow. We'll call him the late bloomer. Den came sprinting up the sideline. And the reason why that can happen, team, is that a few people log all of their actions and crush their missions, yet Den wanted to complete a couple of actions in the last week. So you got all these bonus coins and you just shot up the leaderboard. So just from a gaming side of the game, the logging of the action side of the game, team, I just wanted to acknowledge all those people. Please don't let that be a reference point that I'm not acknowledging any of you that did play the game. I just like to be really raw and authentic. And if I notice someone's name coming through in an email, or I just maybe happen to be on the app when someone's commenting through, or in these lives, I can see people commenting through. I just like to acknowledge you. So thank you so much for rocking out with us until now. Would love to invite you, kind of putting you on the spot, team. Who, if anyone, would you like to acknowledge in the game? Maybe it's someone you know, maybe it's someone you've never met. Just comment their name. I think it's really cool. Comment their name into the group, into the chat, I should say. You're very welcome, Amanda. Thanks, Simon. Okay, Dan's sharing far too much. I won't even read that comment out. Dan, quit that. Although Amanda's saying good job, Dan. So I don't know, Amanda, if you're referring to her comment or her playing the game well, but great team morale.
Well, did Dan jag a date or something from the game? Did we get someone hooked up? That'd be great.
Oh, I'm assuming a date was to happen for her comment to be relevant.
Yeah, excellent.
Loving it. Loving it. Oh, I love it. Anita's finished off those comments really well by saying, yeah, there's so many, it's hard to pick any individuals. So I'd like to say everyone. And Virginia would like to comment.
Love it.
Rosie, yeah, very well said. Love that. Yeah, very well said, Dan. Simon was an absolute killer when it comes to supporting other people's posts. Okay, now there's heaps of names coming through. I won't be able to keep up with them. Yeah, nice acknowledgement, Bonnie. All right, team, keep the comments coming through, but we'll move on.
All right. Tommy.
This is me. Team. Yep. For those of you that were pretty excited about where to go to from here, it has been confirmed. I leaked the news to the press, so to speak, at 9 a.m. this morning, and I think I got in trouble because we haven't really arranged anything on paper yet. But would love to get a show of hands who's up for the 30-day festive season mini challenge. Show of hands, jump into the chat panel. Who's up for the festive season mini challenge? Last week we spoke about who of you would like to continue your journey, who would like to continue drinking less and feeling fresh. Had a heap of people comment through and email through. So I'd love to know who's up for the festive season mini challenge. Even if you don't know,
with me.
Even if you don't, I was going to say, even if you don't know what it entails yet. I always like to see how eager people are before they know, what have I got to do? Yeah, what have I got to do to succeed? Please comment in the chat panel. Awesome to hear, Amanda. You're just running wild this year, Amanda. You're just signing up for everything. I love it.
So good.
Bonnie saying yes with the big peace sign. Keen, Bonnie, you'll absolutely crush it. Couple of questions that might answer something for you. Major question we get, especially for someone who hasn't been a Drink Less Feel Fresh member before, is, does it mean I've got to stay sober? Like, it's always the biggest hesitation with alcohol.
Yeah.
The answer is no. We're going to provide, we've never done this before. Nat and I are going to provide 2 or 3 ways that you can approach this. And the first two, should I share the first 2 approaches?
Yep.
Okay. The first 2 approaches are going to be either 30-day detox through the major weeks in the festive season. The second approach is going to be what's called our first ever 2-drink standard mini challenge, which is who would like to join Tom Cartwright for his first ever attempt at experiencing the festive season sticking to a 2-drink standard.
Yeah.
And we're gonna, nice buddy, woo, raise the roof. And there's going to be a couple of other approaches, but we are going to collaborate as a team and see what kind of targets we want to set. In saying that, if you're up for the challenge, what's it going to involve? It won't be running the gaming platform, so we won't be rocking out there. We'll be rocking out in the Drink Less Feel Fresh members community.
Yeah,
we're going to dive
getting everyone together.
We're going to dive into 4 live Zoom masterclasses, very similar to these. To those of you that are on the call, I've absolutely loved them. Nat, do you want to give them a quick glimpse of what we're getting into?
4 masterclasses will be as following. We have emotional mastery in alcohol. We have psychology in alcohol. We have culture, society, and alcohol's place in it. And then last one, we've called living beyond alcohol, which teaser is actually where spirituality meets alcohol.
Which is just the best one ever. Which you'll all love. We're going to have 4 live Q&As because I know there's some new members coming on board, and we're going to get back to actually doing that live in the Facebook group, which will be a Facebook Live Q&A. So bring your thoughts, questions, concerns. I want you to really focus on your questions along the time of the Christmas staff parties that you've got coming up. Personal family members and friends that may be problematic for you at this time of year. I love those questions so much. Please keep them coming. And we're going to focus them on the challenge. Will be focused on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And I'm going to personally run through live Q&As on how I approach these 4 major days. And the reason why, if you can change your relationship with alcohol at the time where the social standard is for you to not change your relationship with alcohol, then you'll be completely looked after, especially anybody that's new to this community. If you can look after your relationship with alcohol now, you'll be able to do it whenever. This is completely re-engineers the approach to alcohol reduction. Traditionally, let's take you to a rehab. Let's make it as easy as possible for you not to drink, or let's get in the thick of it. Let's get in the trenches. It's freaking New Year's Eve, man. Shit, what do I do? And if you can crush it then, you'll be completely looked after. Just to share this with you, team, this is a new challenge that we're running. We've never run it before. As of next week, it's going to be available to people to join in this mini challenge. It'll be $297. However, for you guys, whoever's not a Drink Less Feel Fresh member, email me at info@drinklessfeelfresh.com and we'll give you access for $97. Just become a Drink Less Feel Fresh member, which is $97 for the month.
And you'll get the whole thing.
You'll get everything. If I don't hear back from you as of next month, you can still join. It'll just be $297. Please give me a big thumbs up or a smiley face, or even just if you want to show words of epic gratitude to Nat and I, because we just over deliver.
Thrive on it.
Yeah, I love that. Den sharing. I do have the in-laws coming for 2 months, and my birthday is Christmas Eve. Oh wow, Den.
Oh,
very cool. Yeah, definitely something to think about. And please remember, team, you don't have to be sober to ask me the questions on the live Q&A. If you want insights into strategically how to look after your personal space and your family and emotional close friendships, I'm the man for the job. If you want to keep diving into the emotional mastery and spirituality side of things, the 4 masterclasses with Nat are going to be right up your alley. Yeah, you're welcome, Bonnie. Keep the comments coming through. Other than that, I will be in touch to sign you up so you can become Drink Less Feel Fresh members. Take action on that ASAP. Nat, was there anything else?
No, I think that's pretty good.
Just a big fuck yeah, team.
Yeah, great. So good.
What an incredible Sober October game. It was so awesome to play with you. I trust you've absolutely loved it. And I really look forward to being in contact with those of you that did win prizes. And I'll be in touch over the next 3 to 5 days. So please be.
Isn't it funny, Tommy? We get so invested that it's like, oh, this isn't a part of our week now. This is no.
I'm like, what? What? You're very welcome, Virginia. Thanks, Dan. You're very welcome. Awesome to hear, Amanda. All right. Yeah, you certainly can keep showing up, Amanda. Love your work. Big love from our team. Absolutely loved rocking out with you.
Yeah, it was great. Great. Thanks for your attention and energy, guys. Absolutely loved it.
You're so welcome, Haley. Haley, would love to hear from you as one of our new members. How'd you go in the Sober October game? Hit me up in an email. Would love to personally be in touch. Yeah, awesome to hear, Virginia. Just seeing lots of comments coming through, Nat, saying big love. Thanks, guys. Thanks, team. We've loved rocking out with you.
Beautiful.
Here's to drinking less and feeling fresh, whether we continue rocking out on this journey or touch base sometimes next year. Continue to back yourself.
We're not bloody going anywhere.
We're here. Awesome, team. Big love. Bye for now.
Hey, guys.